Watley, and today's video, it's going to be a little bit different because today we're not solely focusing on essential oils. Today, you guys are going to find out how I make anxiety and depression my... Now, before I get into the video, two things. If you haven't subscribed already, I highly recommend that you do. That way, you won't miss a natural living tip from yours truly. And secondly, disclaimer alert, I am not a doctor nor a professional in this field. However, I am someone that battles with anxiety and depression. So in that regard, I know exactly what it's like. And I'm here to offer and share some natural tips that I do that help ease the symptoms of anxiety and depression. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The thing that really bothers me about anxiety and depression, other than the symptoms of course, is that it's a taboo. No one likes to talk about it. People think they shouldn't talk about it. And the ironic thing is that there's a lot of people going through it. So for those of you who think you're alone going through this and that no one else is feeling this way, I hope this video helps and sheds light that you're not the only one. Before I give a little bit of a background on myself personally, I thought it would be best just to kind of go over anxiety and depression. What are they? So, what is depression? I like to describe it as severe feelings of dejection and a state of low spirit, courage, and hope. What is anxiety? When you have a strong sense of worry, nervousness, and/or unease. Depression and anxiety, they're a real thing. The severity of symptoms can be mild all the way to debilitating. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty about Nat. So we're gonna get deep. We're gonna get a little personal. I'm a little bit uncomfortable. But okay, this is good. You know, you gotta get out of your comfort zone every once in a while, right? A little background. My anxiety experience started probably like mid-high school. My depression symptoms came forth later teen years, early adult years, so about 19, 20. And it didn't get severe until about 3.5 years later when I experienced loss. So someone very significant and exceptionally close to me passed away. Now this video is not meant to be sad. I'm not looking for sympathy at all. I'm simply just sharing where it all stemmed from for me. So my anxiety and depression symptoms became so severe that man-made medication presented itself as an option. But me being me, natural Nat, I opted out of it. And no judgment at all for those of you who may be on medication for anxiety and depression. I personally just like to do things the natural way, as much as possible, of course. So I basically made it my mission to find natural remedies and practices that I could do that could lower the severity of my symptoms. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. Number one, the happy jar. This is awesome. This gets me so excited and I look forward to doing it every year. Started doing this with my best friend back in 2014 and it's changed my life. It really makes a difference on your outlook of your previous year. It's the best. So basically how it works is ideally you start January 1st at the beginning of the year, and when you start, it's empty. There's no pieces of paper in it at all. Basically what you're doing is you're writing down anything and everything that makes you happy throughout the year, whether it's significant or minimal, anything that puts a smile on your face, you write that shit down and you put it in the jar or box or whatever you're putting the pieces of paper in. Right now I'm using a mason jar. You can honestly use anything. I mean, she used a Ziploc bag when she was traveling. You can use a shoe box. You can use a drawer, like anything just to keep pieces of paper. Write it down. You can write the date. You don't have to. I like to. And you fold it up and you put it in the jar and you don't look at it until New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. Slowly or fastly, you'll start to see your jar fill up, and then come New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, whether it's December 31st or January 1st, you read all of the pieces of paper and it just kind of reminds you of how great the year was. I think as humans, we're so quick to point out the negative things that happened in the previous year, the previous day, month, week, what have you. I really enjoy doing this because not only does it take you down memory lane, happy memory lane, it's a great bonding activity as well. It's a great reminder of practicing gratitude, and it shows you that the year that you just had wasn't necessarily as bad as you thought. Number two, clean your room and make your bed. So I read when I was doing research, the state of your room reflects the state of your mind, which is, for me, hands down, true AF. Because whenever my room is array of clothes everywhere, I haven't wiped down counters, my vanity is looking like it blew up, like when it's a mess, at the same time, I'm stressed out or I'm overwhelmed or my anxiety is through the roof. And then as soon as I clean my room and it's tidy, that actually calms me down and settles me. So remember, the two go hand in hand. If you see your room is array and it needs a cleanup, it probably means that mentally you need a refresher as well. I also find that it gives me a great sense of mental clarity. Now, when it comes to making your bed every morning, this is something you should be doing because I personally think it definitely sets the tone for the day. It also gives you a great sense of encouragement and motivation to complete a next small task, whether it's making breakfast or stretching before you get ready for work or school. And it kind of motivates you to continue completing tasks throughout the day until you're like, oh wow, that was a pretty successful day. I did this, that, and the other. And if you end up having a crappy day at the office, at work, at school, or a crappy day in general, coming home to a made up bed not only looks good, and it just gives you that little bit of sense of hope, like, okay, tomorrow is gonna be a better day. And it's also really great if you have like unexpected guests or something, so. Number 3, meditate. Now this is something I heard so much about, and it actually was a little bit challenging for me to get the knack of it, but once I did, it definitely helped lower my anxiety for sure. It was challenging for me because sitting with my eyes closed, my brain just wouldn't stop thinking. Like I have all these thoughts about everything and nothing. You know what I mean? Like it was just going. It was like the hamster on the, what is it? The hamster on the treadmill. I was just thinking a lot. I can't remember the saying, and it was overwhelming. And I said, I can't turn this brain off. And there's actually a name for it. It's called monkey brain, where you're just constantly thinking. So it wasn't until I decided to think of an affirmation that I would repeat over and over during my meditation, and that seemed to help subside the monkey brain, as they call it. And you know I have the diffuser going during that. It's always on. But speaking of affirmations, this is actually a pretty good segue to number 4. So when it comes to depression, there's a lot of negative thoughts. So I think it's really important to surround myself with positive quotes, inspiring quotes, anything in writing that is uplifting and positive. So I have this great book that was gifted to me, and it's called Daily Inspiration from the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. And it's amazing because 365 days, it's all dated and it has inspirational quotes for the entire year. So whether it's in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, whenever I have time, I read a page every day just to spark some positivity, some optimism, and some inspiration. So this is great. This is a really great book. And I'm combining these two. Another great book that I use to practice gratitude is the 5-Minute Journal. This was another amazing gift that I received. This one's great to do with a partner as well. And how this little guy works, it also has an inspiring quote at the beginning. And then you'll write down 3 things that you're grateful for. You'll write 3 things that'll make the day great. And you'll write your personal daily affirmation. Then you come back in the evening and you write 3 things that made the day great and 1 thing that could have made it better. But you write it as if you did it. So for instance, if you skipped the gym because you're a little bit tired but you kind of wish you went, then you would write, today I went to the gym today and had a killer workout. So these 2 books definitely help with my emotional stress. Number 5, find a positive hobby. I think it's really important, especially when it comes to anxiety. There's a lot of nervous energy and you don't know what to do with it and you're overwhelmed. And I think it's important to find something that you're passionate about, something that excites you, and put all that weird, uncomfortable, nervous energy into that. So for me, it's actually been essential oils. I've always been into natural living and creating my own products, but putting all of my energy into that has definitely helped because I'm solely focused on that, and it's exciting to me and I feel inspired and elated. And it's not only because I enjoy making products and researching about essential oils, with the history of them, where they came from. But to talk about essential oils just a little bit, there's a lot of oils that are beneficial for mental health, such as bergamot, citrus fresh, patchouli, just to name a few. So you can often find me diffusing those. Another thing that I like to do is dance. So whether it's like I go to a dance class or I'm dancing in my room or at home, that's also helping me release endorphins, and it makes me feel good, which actually leads me to number 6. Release endorphins naturally. So it could be dancing like me, or it could be doing yoga, boxing, going for a run, going for a walk, some sort of exercise where you're releasing natural endorphins. Number 7, this one I love. 4 simple words. Be easy on yourself. We've all heard the saying, you're your own worst critic. I remember I was confiding in a friend, and the advice she came back with was, be easy on yourself. And it was just those 4 simple words that was like a light bulb, like, holy shit. If I had a friend, or if I had someone talk to me the way I talk to myself sometimes, I would not be friends with her or him. Like, hell no, absolutely not. I think it's really important to remember that you're only human, you make mistakes, you can only do your best. So be easy on yourself. That's a good one. I love it. Number 8, educate yourself. I mean, educate yourself about anxiety and depression. Because before I did my research, I had so many questions. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I the only one? Why doesn't anyone understand me? Why? All these questions, until I said, okay, let's figure out what's going on. So I looked things up, I did research, and I think it's just really important to do the research, because it's easier on yourself. The easier it is to communicate to others, and the more you understand what you're actually going through as well. Number 9, stay away from your triggers. If you're conscious of your triggers, don't make yourself vulnerable to them. Whether it's certain movies, alcohol, certain songs, going down a certain street, or seeing a certain person, or surrounding yourself by certain people. Stay away, and you're not ready to feel those emotions, stay clear of them. That's what I do, and it seems to do the trick. Lastly, number 10, talk to someone. Talk to someone you trust. I mean, not Becky with the good hair that goes clubbing 5 nights a week. I mean, she may be fun to party with, but maybe not someone you want to confide in. Talk to a family member, your mom, your dad, uncle, sister, brother, cousin, a best friend, someone that can hold you accountable for the list that I just said previous. Or even a professional, a counselor or a therapist. And there needs not to be a stigma about seeing a counselor or a therapist. I know people are a little bit embarrassed to speak about it, which I think is crazy. I mean, if you really think about it, like, if you have symptoms of strep throat, you're not gonna go to some random and be like, I have strep throat, can you diagnose me? Probably not. I mean, I would hope you're gonna go to your doctor or a doctor. Basically, when you're struggling physically, you go to a doctor, a physiotherapist, a professional. It's the same thing when you're feeling ill mentally. You may want to go see a professional, so a counselor or a therapist, and there's nothing wrong with that. End the stigma. End it. Now, these are just the 10 routines that I practice on a regular basis that I think have made a difference in my life. And I can honestly say I see a huge improvement in my mood, my behavior, my attitude from today compared to back in 2014. Now, I'm not saying that these 10 routines are gonna boom, cure your anxiety and your depression, by no means. This is something that definitely takes time. It's definitely a learning journey, so I'm continuing to learn as I do these routines. There are some other things that I've incorporated as well, but I didn't want to make this video crazy long. I think that's all I wanted to say. Okay guys, so that basically concludes the video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that there was at least one tip that you can use in your daily lives. And if there was anything that you agree with in this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And leave a comment below if there's anything that you do that helps with your anxiety and or depression. I think any of these 10 things you can incorporate in your daily lives. I really appreciate you watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. I will see you guys in my next video. And as always, don't forget to love yourself and continue doing things the natural way.